$8.28 per thousand. And there was another proposal to take $8.84 per thousand. So those were the proposals. I believe there was one that came in last time that was below the $8.84. Is that right? $8.56 per thousand. So if your house was not revalued, no matter what happens, your tax rate is going to be lower next year than it is this year, based on the compensating, based on all these proposals. If you're like me and your and your property was revalued, then your taxes are probably going to increase next year, unfortunately. So, for example, my house, if we just took the compensating rate, my personal taxes for the schools alone would increase by about 11%, just based on the compensating rate. But if you hadn't been revalued, then you're going to pay lower taxes next year than you are this year. Does that make sense?
Sort of, kind of. I think as you move on, I think I'll find out more.
Okay. So, I mean, that's really it. Those are the proposals. Like I said, last year was $9.64. This year, the proposal is to set the rate at up to $8.84 per thousand. But it's at the board's discretion whether to take $8.84 all the way down to $7.68 per thousand. So that's where we're at. Those are the.
You're going to take this back and recycle it and tell us how it's going to be spent or changed, or if there's an increase, how it's going to happen.
So the increase is the compensating rate is supposed to be based on the amount of money that we received this year, right? For some reason, the PBA made errors last year, and so the way the tax rate is set is very confusing. But because the PBA overvalued our properties last year, based on their estimates, our compensating rate is last year was lower than what it really should have been. Does that make sense? And so our compensating rate this year is what is different because of that, because the PBA messed up the estimates. None of this stuff is very easy to understand. It's very hard to explain. It'd probably be better if we had Miss Payne up here with a chalkboard breaking this down mathematically for us. She's the smartest math person that I know.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sutherland. Next, we have Alice Watkins.
I want to circle back to what she asked about how that money is going to be spent on the students. So if the taxes increase for our people who live in Newport, how is that money going to be spent differently, or how is it going to be spent on our children?
Well, this money,
Yes.
this money will be spent on construction projects that we have to do. Everybody knows that the main thing we're doing now is the stadium. So we have to finish that stadium project. We have to get concessions and restrooms, so we don't have those. And then the last thing we have to do is locker room. So we have to do that. We also need furniture for the students, student desks in the different buildings. So that's going to cost us, I think we estimated somewhere around $2 million. So right now, those are the main things that have to be done currently.
So the stadium that's not open to the public is the main use of the taxpayers' money.
Well, and it is open to the public during the day, so during the school day. And one of the reasons we can't do that, and hopefully everybody understands, we are liable, and just talking to our insurance companies, if something should happen, we could be sued for anything that should or possibly could happen there. Also, with that football field, if something goes wrong, if something happens to that football field, that's a lot of money that we have put in. We have to maintain that field, and if not saying that it would happen, but possibly somebody takes a dog on there and does their business on the field, and we have to make sure that we maintain that. So it's just it's a real liability issue. If we leave that open, things can
For sure, yeah, I understand liability, that's for sure, I think with our academics and the performance of our schools in Newport, I think the taxpayers might better support if the money was spent on resources for their education, not a locker room. And, the debts are very important, but I wonder about like the site-based money that the school has and how that's being spent.
Well,
That typically would be used in the student activity fund.
well,
I know that those get
that's
tens of
not,
thousands of dollars,
but that's not-
especially in a low-income school.
that's not 2 million for that.
Definitely not 2 million. I understand that.
So, in the schools, as far as the site-based monies go, the schools get to determine what they're gonna do with that, and usually that's not for furniture. That's for, like you said, resources, for teachers and for students, for educational purposes.
And I just have
Can
one.
I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to interject this, that when it comes to the student furniture, we converted the intermediate school, it used to be, high school. And so a lot of those desks are for, larger kids, and so a lot of these kids have been working on desks that don't fit them. So we're trying to correct something and, make the learning environment more conducive to the age of the students in the building. So I just wanted to kind of give you a background on why that furniture is needed.
So then it's just desks for the intermediate school?
I'm not sure, I know that's one of the proposals that first.
Okay.
So we're just trying to, rights around that, happen when
How
the schools
many,
work.
how many classrooms are there, third and fifth in the intermediate? That's four,
They're 3rd through 6th,
third through sixth, I'm sorry.
yes.
20 classrooms? I'm just curious. And I did have one other question, unless you wanted to.
I just want to interject, as far as the stadium goes, whether we levy any of these taxes or not, if we take the compensating rate, that stadium project still needs to be done. So it doesn't matter if these taxes get raised or if they stay the same, the stadium project has to be done, period, end of story. It was condemned, it was an 80-year-old structure. We had structural engineers that came in and told us it was unsafe. We tried, it has been repaired over the years. Unfortunately, it was neglected long before any of us were even here. And so it was quite frankly disrespectful to our students to even have that stadium the way it was. It was nasty. We have a student that's on our board that will tell you how gross it was. So no matter what, that's getting done. And we voted to do it. We have the money to do it. The reason why I believe Mr. Watts proposed this tax rate that he's proposed is because we do have other things that need to be done. And it's just a matter of, do we do it next year? Do we do it 5 years from now? And so we don't know what that's going to look like until we decide on this tax rate.
Okay, I think, and I agree with what you're saying about the condemned football stadium and how it is important for the students, but I also think that if you look at our test scores and our rankings in the state, I feel like the money, and as an educator myself, I know that the money is more valuable spent on resources and textbooks and curriculum and paying our teachers to participate in extracurricular activities outside of their
We
contract
have done
hours.
that. We actually raised teacher salaries last year about 5%. And that's one of the most important things to us is teacher salaries and compensations and making sure that those teachers are happy and they stay with us. Consistency.
I was
is
gonna
key.
ask, how many teachers left last year?
We actually had a
In the
significant decrease last year.
But how many left?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Mr. Watts?
Percentage-wise, I don't know. It was like 24 staff, but that includes retirement. It includes
How many
transfer.
retired? Do you know how many
I
retired?
don't. If you want to email me these questions, I can give you.
Yeah, I know the public has these questions as well, and I would like to know the answers, and I just know I'm a community member in Newport, I'm an educator myself, I have a doctorate in education. I know that people want answers, and so like to say we raised our salaries by 5%, And then to also say you lost 24 teachers in a very small school district, that's a big number.
It was actually a lot lower this year than it has been in years past.
And
So
that's
it's actually
right.
improving.
Yes.
And that's right, but I think it's still worth recognizing that it's
Yes.
a big number.
It is a big number, and this board is constantly looking at our ways that we can retain and motivate our teachers to stay. And we do offer, as Mr. Sutton said, we offer a lot of programs, and we offer ranking change programs. The board just approved that. So we're trying to invest in them, and, because we want them to be strong educators. And so we do other incentives other than salary, to motivate them and to grow them and develop them as teachers. Because as they grow and their capacity to teach increases, so does their ability to grow and increase the capacity of our students. So that is something that the board is mindful of, and oftentimes, we get funding, as you know, as being an educator from different sources. And a lot of those fundings are used for those resources, for the MacBooks, for the one-on-one technology, for the 21st century program. I just got an email about all that they're doing for that. Our summer enrichment program is something new that we've been doing. We haven't always done that, but one of the challenges when our attendance was low, we sent out a survey and we found that a lot of our parents weren't attending because of transportation. So the board approved this transportation budget for the summer enrichment program. And they just sent out an email about after school enrichment for 21st century. And 21st century plan is academic based, as you know. So we are mindful of that, and it is the focus of this board, and then the discussions. We get a curriculum report every month. We ask questions. We meet with Mr. Watts monthly. We meet with district leaders monthly. So we are a hands-on involved board. Sometimes it's not the happiest thing that the district wants to do always, because they're working, but that's who we are. And so I agree. You have a right to know this information, and thank you for your concern. And you all are here because you're concerned. Okay? And we have this comments because we do want to hear from you. But I want you to know that we are addressing it, and we are providing services based on the challenges that we have in this district. We are providing those services based on the barriers that our students have. And that's another part of our strength.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one more.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. In the FAQ, the
Yes.
question 4, the last sentence says, we made modifications to various resources to choose more affordable options without jeopardizing quality or purpose. And I'm just wondering what those modifications were specifically.
What question was that?
Question 4 is the final sentence.
Okay.
Mr. Watts, you want to talk about this?
In general, when we look at our resources, if there are affordable options, if there are certain pieces of software that we need for just general operations, or if there are certain curriculum resources out there, it's a matter of being fiscally responsible and looking at other options that will accomplish the same thing, but then just at an affordable price, a better price than what we had been paying in the past.
Yes, I comprehended the sentence. I was asking specifically what the modifications were. Like in buildings, or did you change from the Wonders reading series to the Mighty reading series? Did you go
There's
from,
a
did you
benchmarking
cut cost
program.
of lunch?
There's a benchmarking program that we were using, called MAP, and we switched to iReady and no longer using the MAP. There's evaluation software that we were using that was more expensive, so we went to a different evaluation software. It's called Vector Evaluation Plus, so we switched to that from Frontline. So those are a couple of examples.
Okay, and that's the money that you made back from cutting those costs. Where is that being put into directly affect students?
It used to just be in the overall operational budget. I mean, so many things that are being considered tonight, they're, in addition to the money that's coming in, yes, it will help support some of the facilities items as well, but all those funds are still needing to be replenished for the continuation of all the academics, in which we take seriously as well, and that was part of your question before, and the fact that all of those things are going to continue. The teacher salary is going to continue. Those things are additional money is just gonna continue to support. Let's look at the world right now in terms of inflation. Nothing is getting cheaper. So year to year, everything that we purchase, everything that we deal with from resources, that continues to grow year after year, including construction projects as well. So all of the things that we are currently doing will continue, but at the same time, costs rise, and then this will help support future building projects.
So specifically, let me just add on that those cuts were necessary in order to give the raise to teachers that we wanted to give this year. So if you really want a specific thing that money went to, it went into teacher salary raises.
Thank you.
What was that percent, if I may?
Yeah, 5%.
Right.
Increase, right, is what you said before.
We gave a 4%. We gave a 4% raise to certified staff and a $1.50 raise an hour to classified staff.
Gotcha.
Thank you, and thank you guys.
Thank you. Next, we have Annette Kitchen.
I got a lot of questions, I guess I'll come up to the podium, if that's okay.
Okay, and we have Chad Silver, Michelle Fuller, and Don Spalding. You're all listed in the same.
Yeah, we just put under one contiguous group, because we didn't want to pick up a bunch of spots for others, so my questions may answer some of theirs, if not, they'll come up and chime in.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yes, and
We'll keep it in.
okay, thank you.
Yes, so I'll talk fast. So, first of all, like you said, thank all of you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Watts, for coming to our neighborhood association. That was the first time we have had representatives come to the Clifton neighborhood in over 10 years. I think at outreach, Mr. Card, as evidenced by everybody here, we are all concerned that for many, many years, the budget and taxes have gone unnoticed, at least from others, the perception. Now, perhaps you guys have a more detailed, chronological evaluation of that, but to the public as you hear, we are not as informed. So I like the fact that this dialogue will give us that direction. And thank you again for coming. I emailed all of you about 6 items that I had, and I've been asked quite frequently, what is my position on this? And I don't feel we as a community or the board has enough information right now to ascertain should there be an increase or decrease. So what I'm gonna add, in addition to what you've already got, is just some statements that perhaps will open up more dialogue for others to speak. My first, and I'm gonna talk about the stadium, the construction project. And when I went back and looked at notes, there was some notation back to 2017 in years prior as to how that was to be funded. We fast forward now to saying that it needs to have money allocated to it. However, I also noticed that the foundation board is supposed to be doing fundraising. Well, the fundraising thus far to date has only been $1,200. I would like to think that there would be more effort put forward by some legacy families here throughout Newport that has tremendous, tenure here for growing up, that maybe they want to do naming rights. Surely there's got to be some businesses here that would love to sponsor, a halftime or a concession stand. So I'm just concerned when we talk about, the stadium has to be, you have to have funds there, that's great. But I also want accountability, like was asked. What happened to 2017? What happened to 2021? And most importantly, why did we not have more than $1,200 raised for that construction? So that's something I just want to put out there. Secondly, I also want to talk about the contingency plan for additional future rate increases to Newport residents. So currently right now, I understand there's a few lawsuits pending. Is there a third-party reinsurance program that this school board has, or will the residents receive more tax increases if those lawsuits are found against the school and has to be paid out? So that's a question I would like to have answered. The other question I'd like.
Okay, can we take?
Yes, please. I want to make sure I stay within my time frame.
Yes, I understand. And when it comes to fundraising, that is a conversation that Education Foundation is having. We just had a meeting and we just talked about forming a fundraising committee. we are the same board, but it's a separate entity. So those conversations are happening, but the consensus of the board is, our students. So when the foundation board recently met and suggestions were made to actually contribute some money towards the stadium, the consensus of the foundation board was our priority need to be our students. What can we do to support student success and student academics? So that is a conversation that's happening with the foundation, and we are looking to form a fundraising committee. So if there's any volunteers here tonight, please sign up.
I
Okay.
appreciate that.
And then the second question, what was your second question?
It was about, what is the contingency plan? Where in the budget for things like whether it's lawsuits or additional, building repairs? How many more times will us residents receive additional potential tax increases? What is the contingency budget for those type of items? So specifically on the lawsuits, is there a third?
Yes, we do have insurance, and that's part of the spending. We have to pay for workers' comp insurance, liability insurance, and student insurance. So yes, we are, did I leave any out? Workers' comp, liability, and student.
And actually, you all took action to lower the insurance cost.
Yes.
Your agent has worked with what, about 30, 40 other
Yes,
districts?
yes, that was another savings for us. We were presented with a plan to join other districts, and by having a combined plan, multiple insurers, we were able to lower our insurance rate.
I would also like to add that what contingency plan is in place now for today, as we look ahead 3, 4, 5 years from now with aging buildings, we talked about the chairs, we talked about other infrastructures. What is in place right now that's gonna stop us getting another increase down the road? So I'm hoping Linda will come up and talk about the actual numbers, because she can explain it in several different ways that will make the public understand it, I think, a lot easier than looking at, whether it's the contingency rate or whatever. We can all back into all of those items. But again, from a contingency standpoint, what monies are being set aside for future construction? This tax increase from here is gonna result in what, about 1,500 more per student on top of the already exponentially highest in, correct me if I'm wrong, what, the state? So what plans in place that will not be good? I mean, somebody from finance has got to know this, we gotta have it projected out 5, 10 years from now.
We're not raising the tax.
Well, in theory, you're not.
No, we're not. Again, your house is assessed more, so that's the, increase. We are lower than tax rate.
I understand.
And I got here, in 2020, our tax rate was 108.
Right.
So right now, tonight, we're gonna be at most 88.4. So
Fair
we've
enough.
lowered it over the 4 years. If assessments continue to go up like they have been, we're gonna continue to lower the rate. But again, if the assessments go up, you're gonna pay more. And we don't control that.
I'll let Lynn speak to those numbers, because we have a different, I appreciate that, and I understand how you did your math, but I also understand those writing checks, such as myself, and there's our landlords in here, there's got 15, 20 properties, they're gonna be writing huge checks. So I appreciate that, and there is a balance between what PBA does and what PBA doesn't do, but that goes back to the contingency plan, Tony, that, PBA messed up, we know that. They didn't just mess up for Newport, they messed up for a couple of other areas.
Yes.
That's given. But there had to be some type of contingency plan within Newport's budget years ago that looked forward to say, hey, 2 or 3 years from now, we may have this coming up or something. So I just feel like, and I'll let Lynn speak the numbers, but I just feel like we really missed the ball on looking at that contingency amount. That's all. So my question remains, what plan is in place right now for next year, the year after, this in the contingency? What budget, what monies are allocated? Maybe we don't have those answers tonight, but that is my point, is that I don't think we are prepared as a board and as a community to be able to sit and make our decision.
Well,
So,
facilities plan. So 4 years ago, there was a facilities plan. So we're, a new one is coming up next year, so we have to create a new facilities plan. So we have everything that we see for the next 3, 4 years that needs to be renovated, need to be updated, and that was done. All of the things that have happened, the primary school renovation, the weapon center renovation, high school renovation, all of that was on the facilities plan. So all of those have been completed. Now, the stadium project, I think that was on the facilities plan as well, because we knew that was needed, but we just didn't expect it to happen like it did. So that was on the plan to be done. So, we have plans on what's coming up and what needs to happen. And that's one of the reasons tonight that I'm asking for what I'm asking for, and then the board has to decide if they're gonna take action on that, is to help with those plans up. Because, again, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't know what the property will assess in the future, but to me, this is an opportunity where, again, properties have gone up so much, but we were able to lower the rate as much as we were able to lower it, and still take in some additional funds. So that's why I'm requesting what I'm requesting, that's why we're here tonight.
Appreciate that. I have one more thing, if you don't mind. Actually, I have more, but we'll skip to this one. If the residents want to do a petition against the rate increase, and I understand the school board has to pay for this to be funded out, how much is that going to cost the district, and what is the process? And that's, if I'm out of time, I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, I got more questions.
I don't know the exact timeline, there's certainly a timeline, I think you need 10% of the vote, 10%, if 40,000 people voted in the last election, presidential election, you need 4,000 signatures, and I believe it's 25 days, it's almost
Do we know what the cost to the district would be from an election standpoint, so they understand the scores to pay for it, correct?
It's pretty invalid, I don't think.
Okay, so there's minimal cost.
Yeah, there's not like a special election, it's just put on the ballot, this November, just like voting for Congress, school board, president.
Keep in mind that two House bill options that are above the 4% are not recallable because that's the argument for PDE.
Okay.
So those are not recallable, and just to help clarify that.
Okay, next we have, Chad and,
I don't have anything.
okay, Michelle
I
Ford,
don't have anything right now.
okay, Don Spalding, okay, good. Lynn? You got 60 seconds.
60 seconds. It's more generous than I was expecting. So I'd like to thank Angela and Alex and Annette, and my name doesn't start with an A, so I apologize. So my name is Lynn Schauber, and for, I guess next month, 7 years, I've been working on the education task force. That is for Newport Education Task Force. It's a subset of Newport, and we every year, every 2 years, do reports. So I've actually been looking at the finances along with the rest of the team members. Bobby is here as well, and some other team members. Looking at the reports and the finances for many, many years. And I think it's so confusing. It's so confusing. Aaron, you did a really good job, actually. I could understand it. It was great. But I like to think of it in dollars. Okay? Because when you talk rates, you can say, we're taking the taxes down. Okay, but let's just look at it. Newport spends $30,000 per student, $30,005 last year per student. The state average is a little over 18,000, right? So we spend quite a bit. Now we need to spend more. That's okay. I'm not saying we should be at the state rate, but they spend quite a bit. That adds up to well over $37 million spent. What we're talking about here today is the local money that's generated, the general fund. Okay. Over the past 3 years, I love numbers, so I'm going to try to not say too many of them, but if I confuse you, please stop me. For the past 3 years, the general fund for Newport Independent Schools has been $10.2 million. That is part of that overall $37 million. Okay, so The past three-year average has been 10.2 million. What the school is asking for, the administration proposal, is for 12.4 million. Okay, that's a 20% increase over last year. So to say it's a tax rate decrease is a bit of a stretch because there will be very few people that see any kind of a true decrease. The school is getting $2 million more than they got for the past 3 years. Now, there are things that we should spend it on. That's great, I understand it. But I would say, based on the comments already made, well made by Alex and by Annette, that a penny over the compensating rate is not warranted. I think I speak for many, many citizens to say increasing it by 20% is outrageous. If you just take the compensating rate, so the compensating rate is the rate that the state says you can take every year and you don't have to tell anyone. Now, kudos to Newport. Newport has not taken the compensating rate every year. That's great. But I don't see any rationale on why it should go up more than the compensating rate. I would even hope that the board would go, I'm not sure we should really take the compensating rate given how much we spend relative to all the other school boards, but that's totally within your decision, right? That is within your decision. If you're going to take the compensating rate, there's really nothing we can do. But I would say a penny over the compensating rate is not one. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. Sorry, more than 60 seconds. Sorry, small thank you. And I do want to say that I have appreciated working with the board and with the administration over the last 7 years. It hasn't always been easy, and I do feel that I've at least found a relationship that I can come up there and say, you shouldn't take a penny more than the compensating rate.
Thank you. Jerry Caluso, our last and final.
First, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak. Yes, I own property in the city. I also am an agent for my mom. She owns 5 pieces of property in the city. I own business here in the community. I'm a lifelong resident. I mentioned about the rental property that I take care of because I rent to 2 individuals that are handicapped and 2 individuals that are elderly. They're all on fixed income. And that's just a small snapshot, I believe, of our communities. A lot of people out there that cannot afford rent. Maybe some people out there can't afford their mortgage. People I rent to are all on fixed income. Sometimes I feel like I represent the underdog, and I feel like somebody's got to stand up and speak for them. I have a number of questions to ask, but it's very difficult for me to do that because I don't know what your proposals are. You have 4 of them. If I knew what they were, my questions could be pretty more specific. So I don't know if you're going to take the compensating rate plus 1%, plus 2%, plus 3%, plus 4%, plus 7%. As Len mentioned, 20%. I don't know. So I'm going to do the very best I can to make answer these or ask these questions that make sense. Depending on whatever that number is, and Linda, she mentioned that just because you lower the tax rate doesn't mean you're going to pay less money. There's 6,000 structures, buildings here in the city of Newport. A lot of them are, they don't pay taxes. You've got churches, church property, schools, school properties, you've got nonprofits. So there's a lot of buildings property owners don't pay property tax. So that means there's a whole lot of other people out there like us. We're gonna pay more coming up than we did the last year. So I guess one of the questions I have is, how much more is a Newport property owner going to pay in property tax in 2025 than they pay what they're paying now? And let's just use $100,000, every $100,000 per assessment. Do we have those numbers? And Ramona,
We have a, you wanna see this? This is a table showing that, based on the proposed tax rate, this is last year's, this is the, 4% plus exoneration, and this is the max. So, you see how that's,
for every $100,000, how much?
that was this was this year, so next year, if we took 4% plus exonerations, they would pay $850
More.
less, that would be less than what they pay this year, next year would be less.
If your property wasn't
If
revalued.
your property wasn't revalued. But another way you can look at it, say, this way, if my house was worth $75,000 last year, this is what I pay, $720. But if my house value went up $100,000, then if we chose this rate, then my payment would be $828 because my value went up.
Okay.
So this table serves as to, make sense?
No. You think no. Let me try to simplify this. So, how much more money do you need? How much more money are you gonna generate in property tax? All right? After one of your proposals on the low end, than you did last year.
You wanna talk about that?
I'm sorry, what was your question? I was looking for the spreadsheet. I'm sorry.
Yes, I just had it.
Question?
Okay, last year you took in over $10 million in property tax.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, on your proposal, let's look at proposal one. How much more were you taking?
So let's talk about, so what went out in the hearing notice was the highest that the board could levy, which was 12 million, which as Lynn mentioned was a $2 million increase.
Okay.
There are.
I have it.
Okay.
The compensating rate, which is $7.68 per thousand, would generate $9,800,220, which is $800,000 over what we collected last year.
So that's one of the proposals, you just want to take the compensated rate.
Right.
Okay. Well, how you gonna pay for all, how you gonna pay for the bathroom and the lobby? Pay us less money. See, that's where I'm confused.
It's 800,000 more.
$800,000 more than it was.
Okay.
It's
So
rated as a-
We collected $9 million
On
in
the low,
2024.
on the low end. So your next proposal, you're gonna take in more money. The higher, the next higher proposal.
Right, if we take the compensating rate plus the 4%, that would be $7.98 per thousand.
And how much will that generate?
That will generate $10,184,083. Which is like 1.1 million over what we collected in 2024.
It's saying that the compensated piece is 300,000 more in tax revenue this year.
Right.
And four would be 1.1 million.
I guess it would help me if I knew what the proposal.
But these are the proposals. These are the proposals. The proposal is the compensating rate, or the compensating rate plus 4%.
All right,
4% plus exonerations.
all right.
And then there's a proposal based on House Bill 940, which is option 1, and House Bill 940, option 2. And, okay, so those are the proposals that Mr. Watts presented to the board.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. So when I read Channel 9 report, okay, so we're talking about your proposals when it address, your second stage of this project, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And phase 3, this money, these proposal, will it address number 3? Because I'm citing the WC bill.
Right.
Okay? So will these numbers, these proposals you're gonna vote on, whatever one you pick tonight, will that pay for phase 3?
I believe-
Said you're looking at phase 3.
I think that's the, proposal with the nickel, the highest, the 8,084 cents per thousand is the highest proposal, okay? And I believe that does include, gives us the capacity to finish, 2 and 3.
But if you don't go that route, you don't do that proposal, all right? To do phase 3 down the road, you're probably looking at, 13%, that's what I'm figuring, okay?
I think that's what we calculated. A 13% increase in the collection amount.
Down the road, you're asking,
You're saying we're gonna ask
more
more
money, tax revenue,
down the road.
compensating rate, more than the compensating rate plus 4%.
I can't really speak to that.
So generally, when we talk about, Kentucky League of Cities or the Kentucky School Board Association, when you go to these trainings, which I'm sure you've been to as being mayor for 2 terms and being a city commissioner, the general consensus out there is that these taxing entities take 4% every year to account for inflation. And the city has done that year over year over year for many years. So that is generally what happens in these situations. Usually it's just the 4%. But because the PBA revalued this community so high, it left a giant gap between what the tax was last year, what the tax rate was last year, and what the compensating rate was this year. And so there's this House Bill 940 allows taxing entities to take more than just that 4%. And that's why we're here tonight, because of that gap. This opportunity, which we had a working session a couple of weeks ago, this is a unique opportunity that some school districts will take advantage of to generate far more revenue than they would ordinarily be able to do without being able to recall it. And so that's the big reason that our administration has proposed this. But us as a board, we haven't decided, we want to hear from the public prior to deciding, are we going to take compensating rate? Are we going to take compensating rate plus 4% like we always do, like the city always does, like every other school district always does? Or are we going to go beyond that and take this additional nickel and additional 30 cents? So that's where we're at tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I was on the board for 35 years. Not once in 35 years did we ever take the compensating rate and more than 4%. There was years we just took the compensating rate.
And there's been years here we won't take it.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make that point. So I'm gonna wrap this up and say, you mentioned the cost of inflation. Now, according to the U.S. Department of Labor statistics, this year's inflation rate is 2.9%. Okay? So, again, I'm very concerned about the negative ripple effect. We could lose all retail businesses that are already struggling. We could lose and not attract young families to our community that will not be able to send their children to schools. And these property tax increases doesn't help our affordable housing shortage. Okay? I'm a big supporter, even though I went to Newport, I'm a big supporter of Newport School. I was on the board. Okay, I voted to support just 2 years back the early step program. Okay, preschool, $60,000 expenditure come out of the city general fund. I was in favor of sharing the mechanics, the garage. All right, we shared, we partnered with resource officers. We partnered and worked with the school district, with focus on parking. And this, I think the city pays for the, school bus. So I support all of that. I'm just concerned about the negative ripple effect of these high taxes on public.
Thank you. Well, that concludes our comments and remarks.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Please. My name is Chad Schultz. I live in Newport. I just wanted to clarify, so I'm a homeowner in Newport and I paid, let's just say I paid $1,000 in taxes last year. Well, PVA assessment goes up, right? This year I'm gonna pay, let's say, $1,400 in taxes. So I hear this clearly. You said you saw that as an opportunity to charge me even more taxes?
No.
Yeah, you just said that.
I said the administration saw an opportunity.
Okay, well, so the administration saw an opportunity.
They proposed that to the board, and that's why we're here tonight.
Okay, so you saw an opportunity for me who's already been made to pay more taxes because my PVA assessment went up to charge me even more taxes. That's an opportunity for you. I just wanted to hear that. Did I hear you say that?
Well, my job is to bring to the board what I think is best for the students in our school. So, we need this money, I feel we need this money to do projects, build our contingency, so future projects that we have coming up, we will be able to move. And that's why I'm proposing what I'm proposing. That's a superintendent.
Okay,
So
kind of answered my question.
why he didn't see it as an opportunity to take more money, he saw it as a superintendent. His opportunity was to bring to the board that if, this money will help us in the future. So he wasn't just looking at a cost today, he was looking at the cost because trailers go today, over time, they're gonna depreciate, they're gonna be more repairs. And so as time goes on, these buildings are gonna need more care and more attention. So I think that was what him and his team were looking at. This is where we are now, but 5 years from now, where it's gonna be, what's gonna be repaired. This year's the stadium,
I understand that. I mean, you have to see the timing is very poor,
It
right?
is.
So, I mean, to me, the compensating rate would be, you care about your residents. Asking for more when they're already paying more feels wrong. And then I have another question. If I go to build a house, I generally have to have the money for the house before they let me start building the house. So what happened? Did you start building the stadium with no money? Like, what happened to the money that was there to finish the stadium?
Well, when it comes to these large projects, we actually do not pay it in lump sum, we do what we call a bond. And
So
so
budget
we
for it, but you budget.
We budget for the payments.
And we are budgeting.
And we are budgeted for the payments.
If you took the compensating rate, you're budgeting for it. So you don't need additional funds for that.
The proposal was because the administration found that we have stadium-based projects. And again, this is what's proposed to us. I'm just sharing the information with you. They proposed, they said, we have stadium phase 2, stadium phase 3, we need desks and furniture, we need flooring in the primary school, we need the roof, we need window replacements, we need hardware. And so all these things, we have a bonding capacity, which is a borrowing capacity. And so the total, I don't have.
I think the total was an estimated $20 million to take care of these needs.
The future needs, not money
Not-
you've already
no.
borrowed. You're not saying, is it to pay back money you've already borrowed?
No, these are things that are needed in the district.
Okay.
And
And I did have a question about that. How many desks does $2 million buy?
A lot.
They're expensive.
They're not that expensive.
But I mean, I want a number. Someone has to have the number.
The 2 million wasn't specifically for desks in those facilities. So the 2 million, as broken down in the hearing notice, so we have to pay the city 2.5% for collecting our taxes. Every district in the state pays some entity to collect their taxes. So of that 2,000,000, 52,000 was going to go to the city of Newport to collect our taxes. 500,000 was going to go for teacher salaries. Instructional needs, 397,166. General maintenance needs, 350,000. And 782,850 building fund for renovations, repairs, and projects, which includes portions of those projects that Mr. Sutherland mentioned. So we need to repave, we do need desks, we need a new roof. So that, it wasn't that the 2,000,000 was only needed for desks and chairs. Of that 2,000,000, that's how we broke it down.
Okay,
As
that's
far
why
as
it
overarching.
sounded like to me that they said it was for desks, way back at the beginning, I swear I heard that. Okay, and then what phase of the stadium project, this is 2?
Yeah.
You're trying to start 2. You just now started fundraising for the stadium project? You said you just now put together a fundraising committee?
No, she asked about the Newport Education Foundation, board, that's a different board from the school board. And
Someone asked about
Yes,
fundraising.
it was
$1,200 range.
And that was the Newport Education Foundation, that's a separate entity, and she asked about that.
So is there a fundraising committee for the stadium?
Her question was, why isn't the Newport Education Foundation?
I'm asking my own question, I'm not asking her question.
As a school district, no, we have not.
So you're not fundraising for the stadium?
Not as a school district.
Okay, got it. And, where does Newport schools rank in, the state of Kentucky with the test scores? What's the number?
They're getting a score of
What's
19.
the, how many school districts are in Newport, or in the state of Kentucky? One 172, there's 172 schools in the state of Kentucky. What is Newport rank? I think it's 171, but okay. Anyway, the bottom, so we're at the bottom, and you want to see my opportunity to pay more taxes, to get more taxes, to stay at the bottom. I mean, okay, that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ron, I have a quick question, just for Jennifer.
Okay, we have a regular board meeting that we need to get started on.
Okay.
If you're
We don't want
rules,
to
but
define.
if it's quick, yes.
Real quick question. No, fine. Hi, I'm Robert Yoder. I've worked in city government for well over 20 years. Been in a lot of tax meetings, 4% compensating rate. I do understand. But Jennifer, you said something really interesting. So if we go with the top district, the third nickel we're talking about and all that. So I applaud you because these aren't Republicans. You can raise the local taxes on all of us by 20%, and you can't do anything about it. So I want to applaud you for taking that opportunity. The citizens, no matter how they vote, right? It doesn't mean it. If they vote for 20%, there's nothing the citizens we can do about it. Dennis, right? Dennis, remember back when you worked at the highest tax rate, lowest performing district? What happened? We lowered the tax rate. What happened in the district? We suffered a murder. It was murder. The taxpayers had every enough people to make. Let's all remember that. All we have to put three. Well, the superintendent. You got some frustrated. All I'm saying. So take your 20%. You can do it. Aaron, running for council, take 20%. Ed, you're fine. No one else is really, you'll still get a position. And you guys got some more.
Thank you. Well, we need to move forward. We've allowed, a lot of comments.
He's raised his hand a couple of times. Could you
Okay.
please speak?
We need to move on. The meeting, is it quick? Is it?
I would like to speak, but
Time
I
is money.
did not know that we had to sign in when I came in.
Okay.
I seen the sign that said that or not.
Can we just buy more time?
You know, I'm on
did
Newport
say
Stadium,
that.
so if I can speak.
Okay, one more, and that's it, because we do have another meeting we need to start after this. Do you,
Can you give me about, 5 minutes?
no, sir, the limit is 3 minutes. That's
3
okay.
minutes, okay.
That's all right, so you go for it.
Yeah, you can
I'm
do it.
from right here, so I don't have to go up. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Nipsey.
My name's Jan Nepshield. I've lived in Newport since 1969. My wife was born and raised, well, she's born in Covington, raised in Newport, went all the way through the school system. She taught in this school system for 27 years. Mrs. Windshield was her name to the kids in her kindergarten class. But she's still known throughout the city. I served on the Newport City Commission for 23 years because everybody in Newport knew her. They thought I was her sister. That's why I got elected, true story. My question tonight about this whole meeting, by the way, both of our daughters went all the way through Newport. Both of them have college degrees and master's degrees. I have, I don't know what the hell I think I got, pardon me, but I got it. I taught school for 40 years. I taught in a pretty good school system over in Cincinnati called Princeton. And it's still a pretty good school system. The thing that bothers me tonight about this and about being a Newport resident is I sit here and listen to everything about it, and I haven't heard the children mentioned one time. Not one time has it been said, we're going to make Newport children better. We're second from the bottom, folks. Second from the bottom. And I've heard meetings like this going on in Newport for God knows how long. And we're second from the bottom. An article in the magazine last week, or well, it's been about a month now. Our scores came out on what our Newport kids did after the program Ready for Preschool. 17% of them were ready coming out of that program to go into kindergarten. Now, if you've only got 17% coming out of there, what chance have they got? But not one thing tonight has been mentioned about the children. I've heard software mentioned, I've heard stadiums mentioned. Oh, by the way, I coached out there at Princeton High School for 40 years, and we were fairly successful. Only one we couldn't beat was Moeller. But my point being, I know a little bit about athletics. And it's all about children. It's not about, talk about maintenance. I'll give you an example of maintenance in Newport. We built the Garden of Eden down there by the high school. Whatever that thing's supposed to be, I have no idea. I think right now it must be a learning ground for landscapers. And they haven't learned too well because the grass hadn't been cut all year. And the same with the hillside on the back of school. So, these are all relevant to education. But when you come in, pardon me, when you come in here and you see, how many of you lived in Newport more than 20 years? How many of you have seen good changes throughout the city? Good. I was part of that and I'm very proud of it, so was Jerry. But when you sit here and you tell the same story, time after time after time, it gets tiresome. Not one plan did I hear tonight. We want to do this to better the children and get them out of next to last place in the state educationally so that they can go on and do some things. We don't need a grandiose building. We don't need a sign out front on an electronic board that still touts the fact that we won a basketball tournament last year. Well, who cares about last year? This is this year. So let's start talking about and dealing with the children. That's what education is about, folks. Not sitting here talking about tax dollars. We could spend what we're taking right now and spending per student and take almost all the kids, at least to high school, and send them to St. X in Cincinnati and give them one hell of an education and not charge another dollar. But we're spending all this money, and what are we getting? Second from the bottom. Thank you for hearing me.
Righty, well, we will move on with the setting the tax rate. And I would like each board member to make their recommendation. We'll start with Mr. Davis. Yes.
Thanks everybody for showing up tonight. Especially thanks to Ms. Schauber for all of her knowledge about this. She's really dug in deep on all this stuff. And I mean, I'm constantly amazed because school finance it's pretty hard to understand. It's pretty hard to wrap your brain around, especially if you're you don't have a finance background like I do, or like I don't have a finance background. And I agree that it is about the kids, and that's what our mission statement says. It's about kids. And if you guys ever want to come or stay longer after this meeting, we'll probably be here till about 10 p.m. at this point. We will be talking about kids, and we'll be talking about the high number of special needs kids that we have in this district, and how much extra that costs per student. And we'll be talking about how we pay for the students, and we deal with students in the juvenile detention center here in Newport that was placed here by Campbell County. So we do have a high cost per student, and that's unfortunate. We also have a really high tax rate. I understand that, and for that reason, and after hearing Ms. Schauber tonight, my recommendation is to take the compensating rate.
To do what?
Compensating rate.
All right, Mr. Curl, would you like to speak?
Again, as Aaron said, we appreciate you all coming out. I'm a property owner in Newport. Jen, I got you beat, man. I've been here since 1958. I grew up in Newport, and all the way through Newport schools. Most of my kids graduated from Newport. So I'm proud of Newport. Am I proud of where we're at in terms of education? No. We've got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to do. There's a lot of programs that's been started. I've only been on the board about a year and a half. I've heard a lot of things. I've been in education for 35 years, and I know anything you do can take a couple years, 2 or 3 years to really show a lot of progress. So, as Aaron alluded to, our job is to make sure the administration and the kids have what they need to be educated. Okay? So, after hearing everything, and again, I understand, I own 2 properties, the house I grew up in and the one I live in. And thank you, PBA, close to my house is double the value. So I know I'm going to be paying for it. So I'm thinking right now the compensation rate.
Okay. Ms. Sylvia?
I too am about children. Live in Newport students, see the struggle. My heart's heavy. I feel you. Because one reason why I decided to come on school board is because the stories I was hearing about low test scores, parents not parenting, kids not coming to school. It's a struggle. It's hard. And I understand. And so my goal was, as a board member, is to listen, to understand, to learn, and to just be patient with the things I hear and do. I schooled them. When I first saw the stadium, I couldn't understand why we had a building like that. I was an advocate doing something with the stadium. I've been in the school board member that long. The first couple of years was a learning process. It was learning, going to board meetings, going worry about all the bills, all the pieces of the pie. And I know when it comes to finances, it's like times 57, it's all over the place. Jennifer, our finance director, has been very visual. She's been a great steward of money. She explains things to us. And so, again, my heart's heavy. I know everybody's got an opinion. I know everybody want to know why we spend this, why we do that. I know it's money. I know some people have more money than other people. But right now, my heart is about lifting Newport up. I want Newport to be just as well as Fort Thomas, or St. X, or the next school that's next door to us. And we need what we need. So, I would like to
Tonight just shows that our city cares, our community cares about what we're doing. This is not a easy position to be in. Otherwise, there would be a lot more people running for office than there is this year. So, we would welcome anyone's participation, anybody who wants to do this, step forward next time. We're going to make this time, but step forward and we would be happy to have you. I have two grandsons in the school system, and I am not happy with the performance of our school. How can it be? But at the same time, we have students who are excelling, students who are doing their absolute best. We have faculty members who are decades, who are doing their absolute best. Ensure that our students have as many opportunities for success as they possibly can. Yale is a very good example.
I'm a full-time dual credit student at Newport, so I'm there every day from Tuesday and Thursday. And that's only because of the school district. They pay for all of my classes there. So there are opportunities, and I was allowed to take them. Lots of students are allowed to take them, and they're offering kids who are able to, go to NKU full-time or go to Newport full-time. They're offering, and there are opportunities for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. And I just want to say too that there are so many students that there are a lot of women. We just had an incident over at Pitt River just over the weekend. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that video. Some of those were students of our school. Those are not all of our students. We have a tremendous student body. We have students who want to learn. We're not succeeding at that at the moment as a school district, but there are plans in place that I believe will show results. It does take time. And we ask for your patience, but at the same time, tonight, we ask for your involvement as well. It's going to take our whole community to do this. We have one of the best places to live that we can possibly have. This is a great place to be. And one of the things that has made our community so strong is all of you, the involvement that we have had. It didn't happen overnight. I've lived here for over 50 years. Newport has always, to me, been a great place to live. But the things that a lot of our residents celebrate today were not here 50 years ago. And it's because of the involvement of our community. And tonight, as a board member, as a member of our community, I'm asking for each one of you to become involved in our school. Come to a game, come to the plays. We have students who are doing great, and they need you. They need your support. They're not going to excel when everyone looks at them as if they're inferior students. They're not. And we need our community behind us. And it's a difficult ask, and I know it's not easy for people who don't have our students in the school system to do this. But we need you. We need the community to support our schools. And that's what I have to say tonight. And so with that, I'm going to say that I support the compensating rate. I think that we can do it. And we are here for you. We hear you. And this is, we're working for you. We need each and every one of you to help us. We appreciate your support. Thank you for being here tonight. This is a big deal.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a big deal. And this is what it's all about. This is how it works. And so we're going to go forward. We're going forward with a positive attitude. We will change this. This is changing. So bear with us and support us and help us. the General Assembly passed last year the property assessment growth relief. And that means when your property assessments go up so much, remember seat, they take seat from us. So that means we're gonna get less seat money, and that's more local money that we have to pay. We met 3 of those requirements to get that extra funding in March. So if we don't take the 4%, we won't get that extra money back. So we're gonna put that out there for you all to vote on.
So by taking the compensating rate, we not only lose the tax surplus, we also lose seat money.
We're gonna lose that money that they possibly would have given us back to recoup that seat money that they took from us because of our assessment.
You know what that dollar amount is?
I don't, again, they figured that, yeah, we won't know, and again, that's March, we won't get it until then, but if we don't do the 4%, it's out, so we won't get it, there's no question about it, so. I just want to say that before you vote.
I'm sorry.
I'm confused as to, and frustrated with all that. And I just appreciate all of you, and I know we all want our kids to do well. And you're right, Ed, I don't have a child in this district, but gosh, I want them to be the best, the brightest of everything. And I go back to, I've heard everything, I listen to folks who represent the kids, and what does this money do? It goes back to extremism. What is this money doing for the scores? And now we've got another, enlightening of the seed money. That should have been communicated to all of us here in this audience before you guys took a vote.
We haven't taken the vote.
Okay, or just rendered your first initial.
Right.
It should have been presented before you decided to take that lowest amount, because Mr. Watson doesn't like that, so now he's giving us all new information.
This is new information, it was presented at the tax rate session report and was out for the public.
He felt the need to reiterate it after they cast it. So, he felt it
They
important.
casted their recommendation.
I'm sorry,
Take the
recommendation.
vote.
But I think her frustration is coming from the fact that this information is being reiterated or presented right
I'd
now.
like to make a motion.
Okay, hold on a minute. And I understand your concern, about how this is happening. And as we explained, this is a very complex situation. Because each one of us was elected to make decisions for the school district. Okay, so, but we also are citizens of Newport, and we're also elected officials. So we have, we also take into consideration the citizens of Newport in our decision. Now, I personally, my recommendation was going to be the compensating rate plus the 4%. Because I think about the impact it's going to have on our contingency, on our salary increases, and paying for programs, Gateway, Double, all the things that we do, Youth Scholar Academy. We offer all these things to families who cannot afford college. So we are working hard, as Jan said, and we probably should have talked more about what we're doing for the kids. And I think I did share some of the things that we're doing for our students. And so, this is not an easy, so yes, we would like for it to go this way, we would like to follow this, and we are all, on edge because it impacts the school district. Less money impacts the school district. More money impacts the citizens. So you can understand how this is not an easy decision for any of us. It's not an easy decision for you. It's not easy for you to sit here and listen to something that's going to impact you that you have no control over. So we understand your frustration and your concern. I have the same concern. None of us here are excited where we are, but we are constantly having meetings and looking at what can we do to establish and to address some of the challenges we have. For a lot of conversation has been said about out-of-district kids that don't live in the district, and we're paying for kids who don't live in the district. Well, the General Assembly did that. They made a law that allowed kids to go to schools that don't live in the district. but we have a criteria in place. We just don't automatically, as some people think, there is a criteria that our director of people and personnel does look at. She looks at academic behavior and your attendance at, so they look at all that before they let out of school children, out of district children out of school. Okay, so I want you to understand that we don't take this lightly. We are not happy where we are, and we're working with our team all the time to make the right decisions to move our children forward. Mr. Jan said something about, kindergarten readiness. These kids come here behind. That's not within our control, but yet the public is holding us responsible for kids that we're not teaching. So it is a lot to take in, and I appreciate you all your time and your effort. So I'm gonna ask for a motion.
I'll move to adopt the compensating rate as the tax rate for 2025.
It's been moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. The tax rate has been set at the compensating rate. I need a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry, I do this every year. And you need a motion for all the other ones. For the, personal property, I need a motion for the personal property rate of, the office is, compensating, or the 93.9 with the 4%. What's your, and then also the, levy for the motor vehicle tax rate is 99.3, which is compensating. So,
We talked about this last year. There are a lot of folks. There are a lot of folks that aren't property that don't own real estate, and they have to pay property tax on their car, and that's a lot of money. So luckily, this is dropping again. Thank God. So I'm going to move to adopt the compensating rate for both personal property and
Motor vehicle.
motor vehicle.
are you all in agreement? All right, I need a motion. Second, all in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn? All right. Move in second, all in favor? I'll second. All right, we're calling this meeting back to order. Mr. Watts, we have presentations.
We have, well, she's eating. So you go ahead and, Lisa, are you eating? All right, we got a special, surprise presentation that Lisa Swanson's gonna do, so we're gonna let her go first, and then Nicole, you can go ahead and take a few bites, and then we'll get you next.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure to reflect on the incredible work that is happening within Newport Independent Schools. This evening, we want to recognize two individuals whose dedication and hard work have been instrumental in advancing our district goals and achieving a standard of excellence for students' performance and instructional practices. Darla Payne and Katina Brown, would you please stand? For the past 2 years, Darla and Katina have taken on the enormous task of organizing the Wildcat Academy, our district's professional development program for teachers and staff at the beginning of the school year. This responsibility demands extensive professional knowledge, meticulous planning, innovative thinking, and a steadfast resolve to foster the professional growth of our educators. They have brought in top-notch experts, curated relevant and engaging content, and created an environment where our educators feel supported and inspired. Your dedication to ensuring that every aspect of the academy runs smoothly has not gone unnoticed. Because of your commitment to excellence and leadership, our educators and staff are better equipped to meet the needs of our students, and our district as a whole is stronger. We're incredibly fortunate to have you part of our Wildcat family. Please join me in a round of applause.
Wow, I knew it was you two. Just based on how she was reading the, paper. I didn't have a clue. I don't know why I'm surprised. Because I read the professional development and all that goes into it, and the guests that you had and there, you know, it was just an amazing experience. And so I had a conversation with someone about that, and my response was, this is how you change the culture. This is how teachers feel valued and supported when you do things like this for them. So thank you.
Continue to let your light shine, ladies. Yes. Really gotta let it shine in the next couple of years. Thank you.
Isn't that nice? There's more, because I see, Rusty, are you excited about our
Yeah, I'm just watching, making sure the stream stays up.
Well, thank you, for that surprise presentation, Mr. Watts. That was
Well,
wonderful.
and that was all Lisa Swanson, so I can't
Thank
take credit
you,
for that.
thank you, thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
All right, so, hello everyone, most of you know me. My name is Nicole Braun. I'm the program director for Campbell County Adult Education. My office is just downstairs. I work with an absolute incredible staff that's doing great things and changing lives. And I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes to update you and actually just to bring you some joy. After this meeting, you guys need some joy.
Yeah.
All right, so most of you know us as the GED program. But tonight I want to touch base with you on a few of the other lesser-known services that we provide. So we have staff in 3 locations, the one here in the jail, at the Brighton Center, and at the Campbell County Detention Center. In addition to GED classes at the detention center, we are also now branching out into certificate programs. So once the inmates are released, they have better jobs and opportunities, and they are less likely to reoffend. We are also helping with monthly reentry meetings. The one was today. And at that reentry meeting, I brought all different community partners there to meet with people that are going to be getting out of jail in the next 30, 60, or 90 days and connect them with all the services that can be provided to them again. Once they're released into the community, they will be more successful. Oftentimes, these are Campbell County residents, and many times these are parents here. If these individuals and these parents are successful, that means more stability for the children and more success for those children. Another exciting change is our ESL program. It has exploded. In the last 2 years, our English, people that are coming to us to learn English has grown by 71% in 2 years. Due to that demand, we were able to secure extra funding to pay an additional full-time staff member to focus on English classes. We currently have students from all over the world, including Mexico, Guatemala, the Ukraine, China, Africa, and Haiti. So I call downstairs the UN of Newport. That's right. As these students improve their English, they become better partners in their children's education. Recently, we had a mother say that she was more confident talking to her child's teacher at a parent-teacher conference after coming and working with us. So some big numbers. You like numbers more? I want to introduce this person here. I want to share with you that after 31 years of education, this is my last year here as program director. And I want to introduce you to Stephen Schreck. Stephen and I have been working together for 8 years. And in those 8 years, he has shown what it takes to make a good program director. He has implemented programs that have been duplicated all over the state of Kentucky. They've asked him to present at the state level. This information he's brought has been presented at national level. He's been asked multiple times to lead professional development for adult education all over the state, and we have him here. Currently, I'm working less hours, even for Colorado and Friday. And Steve and I are currently sharing the role as program director, so we can work together as he's in more of that role and I'm out. And he'll take over fully in the spring. So yeah, you guys are in good hands with Steve. Last year, we served 259 students in our 3 locations. We had 61 graduates. We actually have a new graduate today. Okay, I'm going outside. This is too cool. He just graduated today. He's from Newport. He's 30 years old, and we already got him hooked up as an apprentice program as an electrician. So they're going to pay him full time to work there, and they're going to pay for his school at night. So very excited about that. What?
IBEW.
He's going to work for a guy named Jim Ziliak. So
As you know, the union.
it will. I don't know. He's getting a job. We had 61 graduates, 109 students made an educational level gain, and for the 3rd time in 5 years, we were named the #1 top priority for programs in Kentucky. And I really want to thank you for it. Some of my counterparts work with school districts that micromanage the adult education program to the point that they're not successful. You all trust us. You let us do what we do well, and we get to come and do it. You guys provide us space, encouragement, support, and without you guys, we wouldn't have this honor. So I just truly want to thank you. We were also given another award, and at the state level, and we were given an award for best budget execution. Jennifer Hoover has been such a huge asset to me. We have revamped the finance procedures. We've made huge changes. And so this award is being presented to her on behalf of the Kentucky Adult Education. Okay, we'll do that. And that is any before, I know you guys are lonely and lot. Hope I gave you some smiles. Do you have any questions before Stephen and I before we leave? Is Holly? Holly retired.
Oh, no, both of you?
Yeah, she just retired last month.
Get out of here, both of you.
Well,
you gotta do double duty, sir. You got big shoes to fill, her and Holly.
I know.
You'll be all right. Congratulations.
But on behalf of the board and call, we want to thank you for being such a great partner.
Yes.
Because the work you do impacts our students.
Yes.
And our increases their earning capacity as citizens, and it makes them feel like it's part of this community and valued. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving us such a great replacement.
It's gonna be fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great job.
See how that?
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, Nicole and Holly, all right.
Good news, good news, good news.
Good one. Let's see. All right.
Any more presentations?
That's it.
Noah?
Yeah, sure.
Board, I appreciate the opportunity to address you tonight in this lively meeting. We have a few things on the agenda tonight. First is the BG1 for phase 2 of the stadium. I handed out a couple of renderings. Our charge on this was to kind of make this compact and economical as possible. We certainly have other opportunities for to kind of fancy it up if you'd like, but we were trying to give you the bare bones budget version. So, any feedback you all have is certainly welcome for either the staff or I can answer any questions.
What's the price on this?
900,000 construction cost on this. So we try to keep it as bare bones, as compact, as minimal as possible. Understanding there were budget constraints in phase 1.
Okay, so with this $900,000, you factor in the construction cost, but what's the likelihood that this could go based on unexpected expenses as you start this project?
Well, so the 900 is just for the actual construction, so there are other costs, survey and things like that, geotech. I mean, it's always a possibility, but it's typically less in a new building. We don't run into opening up walls and finding
Very good.
There's always the possibility they start digging and, geotech, for example, they go out and drill holes, but it's like playing Battleship. We might drill a hole and it looks great, and they start digging and find horrible dirt or an old house that somebody's buried there. There's some cost there, but it's a relatively small building, so even something like that's not going to be a huge hindrance. And of course, you'll have your 5% contingency, which is KDE required, so to help cover costs like that. But I'm trying to move pretty quickly on this. Once you pass the BG1 and it's uploaded, we'll know how many submittals we can bring to you. But we could be bidding it probably in October if all goes well. So I mean, this is what we're proposing, but, I mean, it's not set in stone by any means. I mean, we're pretty early on in the design phase. We were just charged to make it as compact and economical as possible. So, if you want something different, that's certainly, possible.
We certainly have budget constraints. This is a block building, I guess.
And I know you're a Carroll County graduate. We did a restroom down there, a block restroom. I don't know if you've seen it at the baseball stadium. It was 1.3. That's just where we are in construction costs. I know it's.
Newport did just play Carroll County last Friday when I was out of town.
So it was a block building, concrete floors, nothing, no frills or anything. It's 1.3 million. It's just we're getting one bid on everything, and it's just people are really busy. And
Well, the good news is it's better than what we had. You know, it is, it's updated, it's nicer. I think our students, and, you know, those who work the concession stand will be pleased considering what they were working before. So, I think this is, it's really nice. I'm excited because, based on the other school districts we visit, theirs is pretty much the same model.
yeah, I mean, we work for a number of school districts. This is similar to something we would do for Boone County schools. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a step down in any way.
So how many bathrooms, so there's inside the same building will be the bathrooms, correct?
The men's and women's, yes.
The men's and women, and so when you go into the women's bathroom, how many stalls? is it gonna be?
9. That's based on, that's a code requirement,
Yes.
based on the number of seats you have. It gives us a formula.
Yes, I think that's more than what we had before.
Yeah.
And in the men's,
Same.
same.
I believe it's 5 urinals and 4 toilets.
Okay, all right, very good. And so what is the square footage of the actual concession stand?
I don't have that information off the top of my head. I'll
Okay,
get that to you.
maybe in this,
Yeah.
the plan.
That's the second thing I'm gonna talk about, the
Okay.
high school CTE.
Okay, so, yeah, just thinking about that, it looks like it would be a,
The whole,
thinking about the bathrooms being in there, and then the rest of it is concession stands, you know, will they have room for storage and things like that?
yeah, so the whole building's 1,300 square feet. And it's
Okay.
probably 2/3 bathrooms, and then the other third is split. So I'd say it's about 6, so wouldn't it be 250 or so square feet for concessions? I'm just guessing off the top of my head.
So is that more space than what they had in the one?
Oh, definitely. And the older concession stands, as you all were talking about how they were ran down over the years, a lot of the space was unusable just because of the condition.
Right.
So this is gonna be a significant upgrade. And in all fairness to Noah, as I'm communicating with him, I wanted him to stay on the more affordable side, considering where we are and where we need to go. So, yes, it could be much fancier, but I asked Noah to keep it on the affordable side moving forward.
Based on how it looks, it is something that we can add on or expand if need be, correct?
There's not much room up there. I don't have the
So
plan.
this
So
is just a space, that's it.
not much more will fit unless we go to a 2-story design, which is not
So
gonna be
will we, so if the district should grow and we should need more space, does this plan offer that?
The problem that
Another
we,
side, another,
we have is the whole stadium complex is in the floodplain. So we had to get a waiver even to build this. This is still within the floodplain. But we're building it up on that raised area to get it about a year up. The field level is actually 18 feet into the floodplain. So in theory, a 100-year flood, the field would be 18 feet underwater. I find it hard to believe, but that's what the FEMA maps tell us. So we had to get a KDE waiver because this is still in the floodplain. You're not supposed to spend $1 of school money in the floodplain. But in this case, we didn't have any other options.
Because we lifted it up on that other section, that was better for us when we had to be able to do that.
Yes,
So that helped us by being able to say.
that's right, the little small area behind the previous.
Where the Ninth Street steps
Yes,
came down.
right,
where the raised platform.
Are those stairs still gonna be there, and how will they come into, how much space between those steps and?
They won't be utilized. The stairs themselves will still be there. Currently, they're gated off right now. We think it's a liability issue, quite frankly, just how steep they are. So they they will not be used. In the future, if we want them demolished, that could take place, but again, keep costs down, we're just gonna leave them there for right now. Moving to other phases, there's gonna be work done to create a new grand entrance. So the steps really aren't going to impact this.
The other thing that comes to mind, with Ms. Melona's question about space, is there an opportunity, and I'm not, this is spitball here, is there an opportunity for a rooftop deck type situation on this thing?
Like people go up there and watch the game. The issue's gonna be ADA accessibility. You would have to provide an elevator, we're not gonna have room for ramps, so I mean, an elevator alone is gonna be $150,000. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, I was gonna say maybe we could use the steps, but you're still gonna have, with a new building, we're gonna bring up the current ADA code. So, so that is, the stadium project.
Okay.
And then the second thing we have, on the agenda tonight are some, approvals for the CTE renovations. So we are, about ready to go out for bid for that. And instead of unrolling the, technical drawings and showing you the work schedule and things like that, I thought I would just give you this colored plan to kind of remind you of the scope of that project. So in a nutshell, the purple is, complete renovation, except that floors are to remain. And then the pink is, complete renovations with floors, replaced. So, we're creating a new math classroom in the current graphic arts area, along with keeping the production lab that they have now, just adding some closets there. And then that gets, cosmetic. We're creating a corridor, there on the north side of the current art and, I guess that is graphic arts classroom. So we're creating a new corridor, so that's gonna be, greatly improved for security. Currently those two classrooms are kind of out in the open. You can lock those doors currently, but, it's not ideal from a school safety, perspective. So the two new classrooms, the art and the tech, will have their own, doors. This can be locked, for security. It also should improve instruction. Currently if one class is doing a test and the other one's doing something loud, obviously that's a conflict. So putting some brick and mortar walls there, will improve the experience for students. The two business labs are just kind of getting a cosmetic makeover, keeping the floors because those are the new Nora, floors already, but it will paint, ceilings, lights, new display boards, things like that. Yes, yeah, we're, new wiring for all the computer stations. And then down in the shop class, we are removing the standard door and replacing it with taller doors, 10 feet tall, so that they can get larger pieces in and out. We're deleting the wall that it currently separates it into a storage room. So that'll give them bigger space as well as, again, allow larger pieces in and out. We're gonna redo the floors, the ceiling, sealed floors, the sealed concrete floors are gonna be redone. And then new ceilings and paint in that room. So again, you have a cosmetic makeover. So yes, lighting as well.
Okay, so I get the logic behind the art and technology and safety and sound, but what is the benefit to the, work that's being done in the business?
I'll defer to the school personnel
Well,
on that.
this is career and technical education funding, so anything that's related to CTE will
I know,
regulate
but
funds.
what-
So, in that current room, the networking just doesn't fit our needs in terms of the layout of the room. There is a window built into the wall, we're gonna remove that, and then, just lay out the room in a different way. So that's probably one of the minor pieces of the whole project.
Okay, well, but I guess I'm looking for the why is that necessary?
I
What is
would
it gonna
think so,
do
just
for
to
what is
continue.
it gonna do for the education program that's going to be kept in there? How is that, is it going to create more opportunities, more pathways, or more learning, or more programs? That's what, I guess my question is.
Yeah, I think it's gonna increase the
Yes.
flexibility in the room, and Tim, if you don't mind.
Yeah, One thing it's going to do, it's going to upgrade our business program, if you will.
Okay.
Make it more, and in the other room, I think the big thing there is it opens up a lot more potential. So as an example, Mr. Henson, when he's doing blueprint layouts, et cetera, instead of being in his work environment, with sawdust and everything, it allows the students to be able to come over, to utilize that space, be able to spread out blueprints, et cetera. And gives them sort of a different environment, a more appropriate environment, because when you're trying to do all the construction in one area and then clear everything, it's not very effective. So one of our things is there, once again, is that's hopefully to improve, kids wanting to be involved in our CTE program. Giving them an additional exposure, a little bit better, climate, if you will, to try to motivate them to move forward.
Yeah, because in the real world, architectural plans are done in a more professional setting than the actual construction, so thank you for explaining that.
And I will say, most of these still have the original 1978 ceilings, some of the floors, et cetera. I know this is state grant money, so you're taking an opportunity to use state money rather than your money to, if nothing else, do cosmetic upgrades that are certainly needed in 40 years. So, kind of, on tonight's theme, it's using state money instead of local money to help stretch your local money further.
Thank you.
So that's all I have for you tonight. I can entertain any other questions you have.
Is this the part of the building that's going toward the left of the building, when you go through the building?
So,
It used to be the, what was it used to be?
This is currently where the art room is.
Yeah, used to be art room.
So part
The
of
whole
this,
section.
right, so the big pink section here, right here, this is the art room,
Yeah.
and what Miss Stacy's currently using as the graphic
Right.
arts now. Now she'll have this whole area here for graphic arts.
Okay, I just thought so, but I couldn't put it in my mind. Any more questions? Thank you, Nora.
thank you.
All right, any comments from the audience? No one sign up?
Yes.
Oh, Josh Tiny, yes, you did give me a, sorry. And I looked at you 5 minutes ago, and that quick, it just,
Don't worry. I promise I will be incredibly brief. Hi everyone, my name is Josh Cunning. I live in West Newport in a very proud Newport Independent. I wanted to speak during the first half of the meeting, but I came in a little late, so I didn't get to sign up, but I'm here now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about education, since it came up a lot tonight. So we know from a lot of studies and the data that comes out, we have a good idea about the unique challenges that Newport faces. And I think Newport does a great job tackling those challenges head on. I think one thing that we don't talk about enough about a lot of that data and those reports that come out, including the education task force report that I think that's really great work, is when we get to these kids early in Newport Independent, when we keep these kids in Newport Independent, we see from that data, these kids thrive, these kids shine. It shows that when we take these kids from the hardest environments in our school, and we keep them here at Newport Independent, they grow and they're successful. That being said, I think we can reach them early. So, really what I'm asking tonight is for the board to consider, for the school administration to consider, universal preschool in Newport. We do a great job, but I think we can do more. We have a lot of kids that we know, if we got to them earlier with our great school system we have here, we'd be building a generation of future that we've never seen before in education and preparedness. Again, we're doing it already, but I think we can reach more kids. And I just think it's time we do something big, we do something bold, and we look at what a universal preschool program in Newport might look like. Now, I know that might be kind of hard to do after the conversations that happened tonight, which is why I wanted to talk for the first half, but that's okay. I think it gives us time to talk about what something like this could look like, and I'm just asking from the board board and the administration, have community involvement, reach out to the community. This is not a school problem, right? These kids, we know we have the second lowest kindergarten ranking in the state. That's not a school issue. That's not a school problem. It's a community issue. But I think our community's turning to the schools for help on that problem. So I guess I'm asking you all to ask us to help with that. Maybe we can come together, make a committee, have a conversation about creating what a universal preschool program might look like in the future. I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm not saying next week, but great. Maybe it's time to start planning.
And thank you, but I believe we are having those conversations
There we go.
in our district. But funding is our reality.
Yeah.
The state does not fund that. So, we know the needs of our community and our children, but money talks.
Yeah, right.
And so if we could come together and find a funding source for early childhood education, I was told that, the education in KY was gonna fund that. Is that true? Does anybody know? Have you talked to them that there was, somebody said that there was conversation in the community, there was $2 million that was gonna be put towards early childhood education, but I haven't been able to confirm it. So maybe you wanna speak to some of the people on the education in KY, because that's one of their goals and target, and I understand that they're looking for the funding.
Great.
So, let's start there and continue this conversation. Would you all agree? Because we see the need, and one of the challenges we have with our preschool is our funding is on for a half a day. So as a working mom, if bright days off me all day till 6 o'clock, I'm not gonna choose a program that's gonna be for 2.5 hours, and I got to arrange for somebody to pick them up, and then figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of the day. So that's one of the challenges we have. And then, as Mr. Watts says, that if we do it, then, it comes with, we do an education program, but there are other requirements that we have to provide because of their ages. Am I right, Ms. Stewart? When you're doing preschool, lunch, nap, snack.
Right, so if you do a full day program, the requirements are different than if you do a half day program. So that really gets us into the sizing requirement. For example, if you do a full day program, let's say you do a Monday through Thursday full day program, you are giving, breakfast, lunch, snack. You also have to increase the physical activity time, and there are so many minutes of, nap or downtime. Even looking at the classroom space size, because those mats have to be so many, inches apart. So we're definitely taking a look at all of those requirements, but it's a different type of program. So right now we have at Newport Primary School, with Nikki Hayden being our preschool director, it is a half-day program. So you get 20 students in the morning to 20 students in the afternoon. So they are going straight into that instructional playtime and cutting out nap and things like that. Although they have looked at the barriers that parents are facing and things that you've talked about, such as having to transport students, having your student maybe start at Newport Primary and then go to daycare, and so those are all considerations that I know that the preschool program is looking at. But it's exciting to be able to have these conversations about getting us to universal preschool.
Yes, and we are working with, there's a lot of, we got Bright Days and a lot of other early childhood care, and they're set up to provide, daycare. So you don't have a lot of instruction going on in those facilities because they're not set up that way. Some are. So I would suggest that you continue this conversation, not just with us, but with the city and the communities and the neighborhood meetings. Share our challenges and, invite them to help. And if you want to form a committee in the community regarding early childhood, be happy to be a participant in that or have a voice. I'm sure, we know what the needs are, but as a school district, we're governed by KRS. And so we just can't jump out there and do things, but I do know that Ms. Hayden has partnerships with all the other daycares. She's meet with them. We have offered them some of our professional development programs. be a part of that, to, to take back instruction to them. So we are always thinking of ways that we can help the neighborhood educate our children, before they come to us. So we will continue this conversation. Josh, thank you for all the nice things you always say about Newport Independent, and your support is appreciated. I just wish we had 2 hours ago, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you all. This is a great start. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
you all are doing amazing work, so keep it up. Thank you.
Yes, let's continue the conversation. All right, thank you. All righty, we got minutes from July 23rd, the 31st, August 7th, and August 14th that need to be approved. Wow. We've been busy. We've had a board meeting every Wednesday of this month. Yes, it was, yes, but this, but this is August, yes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from July. August. And whatever date.
I need a motion to approve all the minutes as the dates were read. How about that? So moved, and you second? All in favor? Okay, I understand. All right, next we have the treasurer's report.
Good evening, you have all of my usual reports, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, sorry I didn't have a chance to call you, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off this last week. This here, now it's not. Looking at the MasterCard statement. Oh, Walt Disney World, tell me about this.
That was a, conference for model schools, that was at the Walt Disney World Resort. I'll tag Darla and Katina on more specifics on that.
It's a model school conference for educators. Over 60,000 people attended the conference. That's the location.
60,000?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
There's a teacher conference in Orlando every single year, held by model schools. The teacher conferences are national teacher conferences, so they bring in national speakers, and national educators, as well as, educators who have become model schools. Meaning there were schools that were maybe in need of, fixing that improvement from low performance, and those schools that had reached the pinnacle of the requirements, their expectations, become model schools. So those are the schools that present along with educational experts. So if we're looking to get to that level, we have to speak to people who are already at that level. And we have to hear from them and what things they're putting in place in their schools.
Who all went to the conference?
I did, Tina did, the intermediate, took their instructional coach. And
Here,
assistant
my
principal.
assistant principal and my coach.
So how many people go?
Five.
There's 2 invoices for lodging for $1,000 each. Did you guys double up in your rooms or something?
No.
It's pretty, I mean, for that many people, that's not very much money for lodging at Disney.
Well, because it's 60,000 teachers there. So the rooms are all full, so they can reduce the cost because the place is back for teachers.
So I think his question is, was this $1,000 per room? Because there's only 2 charges. And so I think the question is, if 5 people went, we only have charges, is that the registration, hotel? It looks like it's the hotel. Walt Disney.
The lodging model school conference, $1,030.52 twice.
It's on page 2.
I'm looking for the actual, so the 1,000 was for each individual room.
Okay, so they're
Four
on
nights.
other.
Oh, well, I see 3 more down here.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah,
lower.
there's not all, they weren't all charged on the same.
So why are 2 of the rooms more expensive than the other 3? The 3 were $772.
It looks, Two of the rooms, checked in the day early, I believe, that's what, is that the?
We checked in on Sunday.
We checked in on Sunday. Oh, y'all checked in on Sunday. So.
Yeah, we booked really early, so I don't know if that
Not gonna
has
change
anything
the
to do
rate.
with it. I booked really early mine and Mr. Gregson and,
That might have been it.
yeah, Miss T. Myers. Cause we couldn't get into the Marriott, we had to go to the second one that, was listed by the conference.
Gotcha. So maybe you were saying different area.
So, different rate probably.
Yes.
Right, and then it's, we stayed at the same place.
That's okay, it's fine.
Yeah, because the rate is it's blocked off for a certain time. And so if the booking goes over the rooms that are blocked off, you don't get that discount.
I did request, just so the board knows, I did request from, Ms. Hoover, a list of the travel year-to-date, the travel expenses year-to-date for our district. I think that you may have CC'd Ramona.
Yes, I saw it, yes.
But most of the travel is funded by state and federal dollars,
Yes.
not local tax dollars, just for the record, and those are tuned in online.
Yes, and I think that's, and I think our district does a good job of, doing that, as Ms., Payne has brought to us many sponsors of a lot of the travel that our administrators do and our teachers do. We get people to sponsor those, and then the money they saved us with the professional development that they give for all the teachers. So there's been a lot of, when we were talking earlier, there's so much we do to, be fiscally responsible for this money. And so I just wanted to go on record that we know you all work hard a lot to make sure that you are being mindful of the spending in the district. And so, but when you're asked it on the spot, it's hard to think of all the things we do to save money and to cut costs. And, putting on a 2-day, professional development, the money it saved had all the teacher had to go to, because I remember when we had multiple people coming in the district doing different type of PD, and it was 2 or 3 days, it was a week sometimes, and we, don't go back and look at those costs, but I'm sure Ms. Hoover can say what we're paying now versus what we're paying in the past, and the benefit of 2 days, and the fact that other districts wants to model it, and I think I'm sure you'll tell them in your report, but yeah, so thank you, Mr. Sutherland, for bringing that out. And I want to just let you all know that we know that we are working hard to maximize our dollars. All right. Next, we have the invoices. So we have the treasurer's report, the bank reconciliation statement, and the invoices. Mr. Sutherland, do you have any more questions? Yes. On the bank reconciliation and invoices before we vote?
Anybody else have anything?
Are you ready? I thought he said he would need to go look.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Well,
I asked me, or-
I did ask to go home, Jennifer.
Trying to be efficient here.
You know, he said he needed a minute to look, so I.
Trying to check copies.
I need a motion to approve, the bank reconciliation statement and file for audit, to also pay for the invoice. One motion.
So moved.
It's been moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
All the other documents are for information only. All right, let's move on to student learning and support service. Mr. Watts.
All right, we had a good week of school starting last week, so we got a weekend. I and the team were out in the schools and everything went well. Principals, teachers setting expectations, practicing and working on procedures. Students were excited about being back in school, and we're looking forward to the school year this year. So we're off to a good start. Just for information, we had our first football game last Friday in Carroll County. Got victory. I was thinking Coach was going to be here tonight. I wanted to introduce him, but I guess he couldn't make it. We play Homes this week at Homes, and our family resource centers and Homes Family Resource Centers have been doing a tailgate party, I think, for the last 3 years. It's been about 3 years. So if you don't have anything to do, watch the game and go to the tailgate party. I think they start around 4 o'clock. Is that right? About 4? Yeah. So yeah, they have it over at home. So they invite all of the families out, a lot of the parents go out, and they do a good job. Do have different activities set up for them. So when the game starts, I think it's 7. So we're white. Okay, thanks for letting me know. So we're white. White out. So again, come out to that. We have homecoming and our grand opening of the stadium on 13th. So we give that information out. That will be our first home football game in 2 years. So we're excited about that, and everybody's looking forward to that. So that's about all I have. So next up we have curriculum department.
Superintendent Watts, award-winning, look at that. God is something.
You have our report on the Wildcat Academy. We had a great turnout this year. We actually had Covington come participate. Some of the other districts that we invited had always started school. And Covington was the last one started for us. They had an opportunity to come participate. And then they invited Ms. Brown and myself to participate in theirs. So we went over to look at how they do theirs. A little bit different than how we do ours. And but the feedback that we got from KCES, from KDE, from some of our national speakers, was they thought it was very well read, very professional, and KCES said this should be a model for the region. So they said that at our regional meeting last Friday, that the way that we handled it, they invited the other districts, 23 other districts in the region, to come and look at how we do things. So we're very proud of that. Yes, that the team that's not just Katina and I alone, the team that support us, the teachers, the cabinet, Mr. Watson, you all, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, and the satisfaction, the response, it's amazing.
It's important to do that too.
It is.
It's great to do that.
Yes. And the survey speaks volumes as to, what the teachers, how much they appreciate it, so thank you.
And even the critiques, we always take that and put
Yes.
it in our files for next year, so when we get clean, we look back at some of the information they gave us and we try to question it.
Because I think it improved this year from last year, but that's, it was very satisfying enough, and satisfying enough, and dissatisfied was nil on some of the questions. So that's great. That's great. So
And
thank
just
you.
like last year, and the reason we asked the teachers what session no student school days, we were no school day. And we're actually working now, trying to negotiate with Dr. Dickey to come back and do a part of our literacy district-wide, strategies. Because he was our keynote speaker in the opening, and we also did 2 sessions with the teachers mentioned that they really enjoyed, and we're excited about us continuing a partnership with him. So we're in negotiations right now with him to come back and continue the partnership. Because we're focusing on literacy as we love that.
Well, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Payne? Thank you. Great report. Keep up the good work.
Madam Chair and members of the board, you have a copy of the DPP regular report and the non-resident supplemental packet. Do you have any questions?
Your report indicates that, enrollment is on track with last year.
At day 4, the enrollment was 1,335. As of today, which is your 6th day of instruction, it is up to 1,348. Preschool has not started yet, and 69 no-shows for whereabouts unknown. So we have to code every individual student. That today was down to 37. So we will continue to find those students.
I have a question for you. On the non-resident enrollment contract,
Yes.
This is on the last page of that document, so it says that, non-resident contract 24-25 to ensure, added a non-resident contract to ensure that parents and students are aware of the expectations for behavior, attendance, and grades of Newport independent. This is in addition to the school level family meetings that occur for students in danger of failing courses with high level behavior and attendance issues. So, are you saying that they have, if they're non-resident, even if they don't have high level behavior and attendance issues or failing courses, the parents have to meet with the school, or only if they have those problems?
School level family meetings in Newport occur when students are in danger of failing courses to make sure parents are aware. We don't want parents to be surprised at the end of the year and say, what do you mean my child failed this class? What do you mean they're being retained, or they're not going on to the next grade? What do you mean that they need to attend summer school? Those meetings need to occur early. So most of those begin in January. There are some special provisions in the school's retention planning that occur in February. But those school level meetings do occur. Specifically, when I think about this, I'm thinking if there is going to be a retention, or especially at the high school, because parents need to know this is how many credits your child needs to go on to the next grade level. So that is included. And then also going back over the year with the parent to make sure that they're aware, look, your child has 10 behavior referrals, and your child had a behavior intervention plan. And those intervention plans were geared towards maybe it was party to class, maybe it was party to school, maybe it was pure conflict. But a parent needs to be aware, and we need to have that conversation of, hey, your child did have a level 4 offense when they got into a fight.
So these students that are non-resident students that are coming to our district from, these are House Bill 563 students, right?
Correct, yes.
So, the enrollment process for those students, like, let's say that you're, 10th grader who wants to come to Newport, could you just enroll yourself in Newport and have your mom or dad sign this form and that's it? Or does the mom or dad have to come to Newport and be?
So this is only the beginning. So this isn't even enrollment. This is in showing intent that you want to be a student at Newport Independent. And I did include the scoring guide in there. So we take prior records and we'll complete that.
and then discussed with the family what the score was, and then what can we do. There are times, let's say that a child comes back with like a 14, and attendance is the issue. That may be a simple fix for the family, or they may need an attendance intervention plan. So let's say the easy fix is that, Newport is 15 minutes closer to their home than their prior school. That may be their plan. That needs to be communicated with us so that we have the same goal. We know, the family, we know what they're talking about, we know what their goals are. So that would be an example of that. But we do request the prior records. Now, if we don't get those, we normally request those. If we don't get them, then we do reach out to the family. If they want to provide those records from the school district, then we'll take a look at those. If we don't have the records, I can't approve that. So it's really going back over that previous year. We've had a lot of students that I've had to say, look, you're very close. Let's spend this next year in the school district you're in. Let's work on this, and then come back and see us. And we have had families last year that were on the waiting list that we couldn't approve because of those. One in particular, and then this year they applied again. They worked on that. They raised their overall score. We've had program capacity. So when you think of programs, at Newport, we're also looking at things like our multi-tiered system of support. So MTSS, also response to intervention. We know where our test scores are. We know how many intervention teachers we need for each grade level. That's something that we have to plan for here at Newport when we're looking at non-residents, in addition to how many students or seats are in a class. How open or closed are the caseloads for special education. We also have to take a look at what are this child's needs as far as interventions go. Because I think our board and our community has been very clear, we want to be moving our students, we must move our students, and our Newport resident students are coming first.
Good, yeah. But my major concern, and sorry, this is the last thing I'll say, my major concern is making sure that the students that we take from other districts are contributing to our academic performance, our behavior, making sure that they're not a nuisance to teachers that negatively impact our district. And I know that there are rules and laws that are in place, but staying within the bounds of the law, making sure that we're not taking students that are negatively impacting.
Absolutely.
And that's going to disrupt our learning environment.
Yes. And we did have, and I included in there the number that were denied or had even returned an intent to participate or didn't. If you did not return the intent to participate when it was due, that's an automatic, I did have one parent reach out on April 1st saying, I'm bringing it right now. I'm like, that's okay, take a picture, text it to me. I will say, when we think about this House bill, it was passed quickly. It was vastly different than what was introduced. And honestly, the guidance that we received when the House bill first passed is vastly different than the guidance we receive now. So the most
like the ESSER funds.
Yes. The most beneficial pieces to that, I will say, have been from K8SA, and we have went to trainings both in person and virtually, looking at the legalities behind this. What does our board policy say? What are other districts across the state of Kentucky saying as well? But we have went from being completely open, which was what the guidance from the Department of Education told us, and now really narrowing that down. This will be our third year. So going into this, we were much more selective.
And I'm sorry, I said this was my last question. I didn't actually see these other pages with the teachers and the space.
Yes,
So,
that was requested, I believe, at a board meeting, that you needed to know what the classroom maximum was, what the space allocation was.
so just because there's space doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to fill them up, right?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Any more questions? No, thank you. Good information, because this is a conference that comes
comes up often in our community.
We did ask for this, so thank you.
Yes.
And this will officially be published after we complete, the second month of attendance. Growth factor is done in every school district in the state of Kentucky. For us, that's going to come in October. That gives us the ability to reach out to other districts and let them know the information on their kids before we'll publish it officially in a board report.
All right, thank you.
Facilities.
Chair, members of the board, you have a copy of my report. Do you have any questions? Thanks for keeping us updated on the trees. I'm Josh Bunning and Sandra Homan, City Arborist, to further plan the planting of 26 trees in the intermediate school. Well considered as part of the city's 1,000 tree grant. Amazing. I see Josh he's no longer with us tonight, but he showed me some potential renderings of what that might look like, and it really is going to spruce things up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's gonna look totally different out here in the parking lot, and then over here on Putnam, on 19 Putnam, we're gonna have about 5 trees over there as well, so. If you go outside, there are black spray painted, blocks of sidewalk, even also some out front here, so it's a total of 26. So, it's gonna really change the look of the parking lot around the school. Yes, sir. I believe in October it's gonna get started. We're kind of bound by Josh's schedule with that. But we've already, we met with Channel 9 News, this last week and with the arborist, and we went around and did the math and calculated where we were gonna put them and we made all the marks down the sidewalk. So, Josh told me around October.
If possible, could we have, teachers who distribute like that, is that going to be,
I'm not sure what the process is gonna be, quite honestly, but I'm sure, Dr. Michael will, be more willing to help out if we want to get some students out there as well.
Well, I, heard so much about this stadium, and I see it from the interstate. So yesterday, I decided we'll try it out. We'll try out all the steps to the top, maybe with my own. Feel comfortable, if this out the station, feel comfortable, look around the grounds, so, kudos, for being there, it's looking good, and it really felt good.
Good.
So, I was quite impressed with things, positive feedback. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
Next, go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent, Mr. Wallace, you have my board report. Do you have any questions?
it's not necessarily going to be report, but since you're up here regarding the mental health, contracts and memos of understanding for, Ramsey, East Step Regroup, and Healing Haven Council. Have we already been working with them? I think it's under Bell to me. Which doesn't mean much.
Oh, that's.
Jennifer Stewart's program.
I can tell you she's in the bathroom. We've worked with Regroup, or Ramsey Restep, ESTEP Regroup has been in our building for a while now.
Okay.
Healing Haven is new, so Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health pulled out of the state of Kentucky. So that is one of our Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health therapists at the intermediate school is now working with Healing Haven, so that's the MOU to keep her in our building. He's been here for several years now. And then, North Key, we met with North Key prior to school on home visit day. We met with them, and we're gonna have a full-time counselor every Wednesday in our building from North Key now. So those are the, okay. We're doing, but I'm gonna roll with it, so no.
Sorry about that, Lisa.
anybody have any questions regarding the special ed report? Thank you for the great work, looking forward to all the wonderful things. Yes, and all the wonderful things you do for our students that require special care. All right, okay, thank you, Ms. Michaels, you did a wonderful job.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, but that's good that you had the answer, you know, so we appreciate that. All righty. Okay, that was the last of student services, support services, old building, old business. It's late, it's late. Old business, we have the BG1, phase 2 funding, Newport Stadium, wow. This is the question. Nice tax rate. You know, I think we were looking at this, based on our funding, right? And we were trying to decide if we were going to do a cash and half bond or full bond.
Yes, my recommendation after the vote tonight would be to bond all of it in case we need that 2 million just to operate for the rest of the year. So that would be my recommendation after tonight's tax vote. But you all can, what you all can.
Yes,
But that's my
we still want to
recommendation.
get your recommendation.
Yes, that's my recommendation.
$900,000 there.
Total with everything is a little over 1 million, so that includes the contingency and the other things that no one mentioned. So 900,000 was just the construction. We, have the portion that,
Survey.
yes, the surveys, the permits, the contingency amount that's in there, the fee for eminent, and then all of that is 1.1 million. And then I do have a document in there that tells the breakdown of the payments, and I just did the first 5 years, of course, the 20-year bonds, so I did only include, the first 5 years, in there, but we do have the current building funds to cover if you all, vote to bond all of it.
Okay, thank you. So. My recommendation, I agree that, we bond the amount so that we don't have our cash flow.
Is that option one?
I think those options.
Yes, that is option one.
Need a motion if.
So, yeah, let's go with option one. Motion to go with option one.
Second. It's moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now on to new business. Any questions for any of the action items? I do have a question about the fundraising for the fireworks.
Yeah.
Considering it's on school ground, I'm going liability, the people coming on our property, things like that. I know it's a little bit of security, or how is this gonna be, who's gonna monitor, because it looks like, who's doing this?
Miss Abney, Stephanie Abney. She's a 4th grade teacher. Mr. Grigson will be there in the evening time to support her. He will be there closer to like the 4 or 5 o'clock time. We're gonna keep most of the gates locked. The buildings will still be secured too. Like central office will definitely be secured. record, and then Steph, I've talked to her about the alarm code for our building, just for only school employees to use it, and there's gonna be 4 school, employees with her during
And
each
they're
hour.
just doing water, right?
Yes,
So if nobody's using it for parking, it's just for water.
no, they're using it for parking, so,
And water?
and water.
Okay.
Why only $300?
I think she just budgeted that on that. She's charging $15 a car.
And that space doesn't fit a lot of cars.
Yeah, I'd have to go out and count. I don't know, Dennis, if you know off the top of your head an estimate of it.
But you're talking about the space out here where we park.
Yes. I don't know how many parking spots that is off the top of my head, but.
It's nothing like a high school.
No, I did the high school many years ago when I was FBLA, and that's a bear to do just because you gotta block it all. That's when it's very hard to do.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions before?
This BG3, can you tell us what BG3 means again?
Oh, sorry, tagging. The BG3 is just basically just, agreeing to the bid package. So once you all vote on this, and its office will then put the bids out for, public bidding, whoever wants to come bid on them, and then they will come in, and then at the September meeting, you all will vote on accepting bids from.
Whoever.
Yes.
The Hayes.
Yes, correct. So all it is just, this is the specs that they're sending out, this is the bids. That you're approving.
And this CET, is this the funding that we have already?
Yes, correct.
And so this is already in the budget for this?
Yeah, we already have the money, they sent us the check a long time ago.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yes, so the money is here.
Right, and so I think it's, that money is for 2 million, and we had to put 300 together, the balance with that, correct?
Yes, we had to match a small portion, I don't remember what it is
Right,
off the top of my head now, but we did have to match, a small portion of it.
200 something.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
How much?
It was only 200 something thousand.
That's what I remember too.
Yeah,
That's not about right.
Was it 10%?
Mr. Grayson?
Yeah, it may have been 10%, I think it was 10% maybe.
Because this is when we start off thinking about doing
The
a
culinary,
culinary,
yes.
and then that wasn't,
The culinary is going to be well over the amount that we were
Right,
provided, and
so
yes,
I
so
think
we
Mr.
scaled
Grayson
it back.
came up with this idea that we could provide more programs, pathways, if we did this.
Yes.
So, all right, any more questions or items that need to be discussed before we take action? Oh, yes, we need to appoint a board member to serve, and, I'm gonna say Ed Davis.
It's the local planning committee. It is the committee that comes together to build the next district facility plan. So we're due to have our new facility plan in June of 25. So there's a series of meetings that KE and the Page will coordinate. So it's a variety of teachers and administrators and community members and such. So it's just a group that will build that plan.
Thank you. All right, so, that motion, to approve, to appoint Ed Davis to that committee.
So moved.
All right. So I need to approve consent agenda items 1 through 12 and 14.
So moved.
It's been moved in second, all in favor? All right, let's see, any more comments? For some reason- Oh, yes, I did, thank you. See, this is why I send notes to Kim, because she helps me stay on from, Dr. David Childs and Karen Parsons about our award winners tonight. Says this, dear Mrs. Malone and Newport administration, on behalf of Cultural Diversity Consultants LLC, and that's Dr. David Childs, and Sweet Blackberry Foundation, which is Ms. Karen Parsons, and I would like to thank Ms. Katina Brown and Newport staff for your hospitality and hosting us at the Wildcat Academy. Congratulations on an absolutely amazing event. We had such a wonderful time. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We look forward to future celebrations, future collaborations with Newport schools. We will follow up with an official thank you letter via email in the near future. So I just wanted to read this because we are getting national recognition because Ms. Karen Parsons projects, what is it called, Sweet Blackberry Foundation? That's a national organization, and Newport is making national relationships. And so, very excited. You got a picture there? Yes, my picture with Karen Parsons from last year popped up in my memories this year. So, I'm very excited about the work we're doing in Newport, and hopefully, we will continue to see these type of relationships form and we continue to produce students like our board member here. So thank you. That was my comment. And any more comments before we close out? If not, I need a motion to adjourn. It's been moved in second, all in favor? Is it Karen?